What is Coulomb's law? Alright, so we all know the formula F equals Ke Q1 Q2 over R squared. What does this all mean? Alrighty, so we all know that F is the force, which is measured in newtons. This is the force between the two particles. Ke is Coulomb's constant, which is 8.99 times 10 to the power of 9 newtons meters squared coulombs to the power of -2. And we all know that Q1 and Q2 is the charge of the particles, so we have to multiply them. And we all know that R squared is the distance between the charges. What is Coulomb's law? In physics, the Coulomb's law is a law that describes the forces that interact between static electrically charged particles. Coulomb's law states that all opposite charges will attract, whereas similar charges will repel. Well, here's an example of what I'm trying to explain. We all know that if two positive charges come together, they will repel. This is because we have to multiply the two particles. And we know that since they're positive, positive times a positive will end up giving a positive charge. Therefore, they will repel. Same thing with negative. If we have to multiply a negative and a negative, it will always end up being a positive. Therefore, they'll repel. But we know that if you multiply a negative and a positive, that will result in the charge being negative. Here's an example. If Q1 is 1 coulomb and Q2 is 1 coulomb and the distance between the two particles is 1 meter, then we end up getting this. We have to use the formula. Alright. Since we know that Ke is a constant, all we need to do is substitute everything in. This will end up giving us Ke, which is 9 times 10 to the power of 9 newtons meters squared over c squared. So you can change this because of indices. And so we know that Q1 and Q2 are just 1 coulomb, and we know the distance is 1 meter and squared. Alright, what we do is we have to cancel things out. So we know that we can get rid of the 1 meter squared because of this one. So that cancels out. That coulomb cancels out with these two. So what we end up with is pretty much 1 times 9 times 10 to the power of 9 newtons. And we don't really need that. So that ends up being 9 times 10 to the power of 9 newtons. That ends up being 9 billion newtons, which is a lot.